Hello class! Today we're going to be talking about idioms and expressions that have more than one meaning. So, before we go in deeper about what an idiom really is, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever heard a really funny joke that made you laugh your head off? I thought so, me too. Can you share any of your favorite jokes with the class? Those are great. I want to share a couple of my favorite jokes. So this first one is, do you know what the difference between a fish and a guitar is? Any guesses? Well, you can't tune a fish. Get it? Oh, it's a little corny. How about another joke? So, what does a nosy pepper do? Don't know? It gets jalapeno business. Maybe you didn't get that one. Okay, let's try one more. Why can't you give Elsa a balloon? Don't know? You can't give her a balloon because she'll let it go, let it go. Not too funny, right? Alright, so enough of those corny jokes. So, when I said earlier, have you ever heard a joke that's so funny that you laughed your head off? Does that mean that you actually laughed and it made your head fall off of your body? No. It actually means that you laughed really hard. So, that is actually an idiom. What's an idiom? So I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Basically, an idiom is a common phrase that doesn't actually mean what it says. So for example, we talked about laughing our head off. So that doesn't mean that your head falls off. It just means that you laughed really hard. So another idiom, let's see. So wow, the weather's awful today. It's raining cats and dogs. So when I look outside, does that mean that I'm expecting to see cats and dogs actually falling from the sky? No. What that means is that the weather's awful. It's raining really hard. See? The expression doesn't actually mean what it says. Alright, so today we're going to be reading Amelia Bedelia. In specific, we're going to be reading Amelia Bedelia's first day of school. So Amelia Bedelia is a character who often gets confused with idioms. She gets confused with those expressions that mean something different than what they actually say. But before we go into the story, what I want to do is to go over 5 idioms that we're going to find within the book. So I want to make sure that you understand what we're actually talking about. So the first idiom that we're going to be talking about is hop on the bus. So while I put these up on the wall, I want you to think about what they actually mean. So we're going to be putting the idioms here. Think about what they mean, and later we're going to be talking about what Amelia Bedelia actually thinks they mean. It can be really funny. So just keep this in mind and think about it in your head while I put up the idioms. So hop on the bus. Okay, so idiom number 2, the teacher's pet. Just think about it in your head. Next, this idiom is nose in a book. Just think about it in your head for a little bit. We've got 2 more idioms. So the next one is, let's see, it is eyes bigger than your stomach. What does that mean? Don't say it out loud just yet, just think about it in your head. Eyes bigger than your stomach. And finally, the last idiom is glue yourself to your chair. Now remember, don't say it out loud just yet. Just think about this in your head. Glue yourself to your chair. Okay? Let's put it up here under the idiom section. All right, so you've had a chance to think about what all of these idioms mean. So next, let's just say it out loud this time. So starting with hop on the bus. Now, do you think that just means to hop? No, I didn't think so. All right, so this idiom actually means to get on the bus. That's it. No hopping involved. Just get on the bus. Okay, so next, how about teacher's pet? Have you ever been in a classroom where they had a pet? Like a pet gerbil or a pet hamster? Do you have a pet? Maybe a cat or a dog at home? Or a pet rabbit? So do you think that they're talking about a teacher's animal? Sometimes, but in this case, we're talking about the meaning for this idiom, so it doesn't actually mean what it says. So here, teacher's pet can mean the student the teacher likes best, or the teacher's favorite student. Do you think I have any favorites here? All of you are my favorite. Okay, so nose in a book is the next idiom, and let's see what it actually means. So nose in a book. What does it mean? Does it mean to actually put your nose inside of a book? That can hurt. No. So it means to read a book. That's it. Just read a book. Okay. So eyes bigger than your stomach. Does that mean that your eyes are? Think about your stomach. It's super big, right? In comparison to your eyes. Are they the same size? No. In this case, it can mean that you take more food than you can actually eat. So, have you ever seen someone just get a big plate of food and they pile on the food onto that plate, but then when they're eating it, they find that they can't finish it all. So what happened? Their eyes were bigger than their stomach. They thought they could eat all that food, but really, they got full, so they couldn't finish it all. So eyes bigger than your stomach can mean to take more food than you can actually eat. All right, and this final idiom for today is glue yourself to your chair. So what do you think that can mean? Are you getting a glue stick, putting it on your bottom and sitting down? No, not really. So glue yourself to your chair actually means sit down and don't move. Do not get up, don't walk around. You sit down, don't move from that spot, so you don't move at all. Get it? All right, so these are the idioms and these are what they actually mean. So next, what we're going to do, we're actually going to read the story, and while we read the story, keep in mind this isn't what they actually mean, the idioms, and I want you to think about what Amelia Bedelia thinks that they mean, and why is it so funny? All right, so let's start off. So Amelia Bedelia's first day of school. Okay, this is her mom saying, hop on the bus, Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia couldn't wait to go to school. Here we are, said Mrs. Park, the bus driver. Time to jump off. Amelia Bedelia backed up, then ran as fast as she could, and she jumped as far as she could. Amelia Bedelia landed right on top of a grown-up. Are you my teacher? She asked. I'm Mrs. O'Malley. I teach gym. Oh, said Amelia Bedelia. I'm not Jim. I'm Amelia Bedelia. Can you help me find my teacher? Follow me, said Mrs. O'Malley. So here, this isn't an idiom, but it's a word that can sound the same. So she teaches Jim. And here Amelia Bedelia says, I'm not Jim, that's the name of a person. But this teacher, Mrs. O'Malley, she actually teaches gym class. So the class where you get to run around and play sports, that's the gym that she was referring to, not Jim the person. And Amelia Bedelia did, right into her new classroom. So there she goes into her new classroom. Hello there, my name is Miss Edwards. You must be Amelia. How did you know? Asked Amelia Bedelia. Because you're my last tag, Miss Edwards said. Amelia Bedelia started running. You can't catch me, she yelled. I'm too fast. Come back, said Miss Edwards, laughing. We aren't playing tag. I have a name tag for you. See, Amelia Bedelia didn't understand again. Oh boy. Amelia Bedelia looked at her name tag. Something was missing. She added Bedelia. I like my whole name, she said. It rhymes. So it does, said Miss Edwards. Now please sit wherever you like. That was a hard choice for Amelia Bedelia. She liked the pictures of faraway places. She liked the letters marching across the top of the board. She liked the hamster running on its wheel. She liked everything she saw. So she sat down right in the middle of the classroom. Do you think that's what the teacher meant? She probably meant pick a seat that you like and sit there, not anywhere. But of course, that's Amelia Bedelia for you. Okay, Miss Edwards began the day by calling the roll. Amelia Bedelia? What? Said Amelia Bedelia. Not what, said Miss Edwards. Here. I hear you, said Amelia Bedelia. Good, said Miss Edwards. When you hear your name, say it. It! Hollered Amelia Bedelia. It? Said Miss Edwards. Who is it? I will be it, said Amelia Bedelia. Can we play tag now? Everyone began to laugh. Oh, Amelia. Clap, clap, clap. Be as quiet as mice. Now that I am sure that you are here, Amelia Bedelia, I'll read the names of your classmates. Rose, here. Teddy, here. Angel, here. Holly, here. Chip, here. Penny, here. Dawn, here. Their names were very exciting, but Amelia Bedelia still loved her name the best of all. So if you notice, she's actually imagining other things other than their actual names. Typical Amelia Bedelia. Isn't she funny? Plop, plop, plop. Miss Edwards placed a lump of squishy clay on each desk. Let's make our favorite animals, she said. Amelia Bedelia loved hamsters, so she began making one. Rose made a giraffe, Dawn made a pony, and Clay made a big fat bullfrog. You're funny, Amelia Bedelia, said Clay. You could be the teacher's pet. Amelia Bedelia was not happy. She loved animals, but she did not want to be anyone's pet. She felt like flattening Clay's frog. If you have trouble, chickadees, said Miss Edwards, try wiggling your fingers on that clay. So that is exactly what Amelia Bedelia did. Soon Clay was laughing so hard he could not stop. Amelia Bedelia, said Clay, stop tickling me. Oh, that Amelia Bedelia. Clean up, everybody clean up, sang Miss Edwards. It's time for music. Miss Melody arrived with her guitar and tambourine. We will sing like birds today. La la, said she trilled. Then the students toured the library with Mr. Stacks. I want to see your little noses in books, said Mr. Stacks. Notice what she's doing there? Have you been paying attention to all the idioms so far? I hope you have. In gym class, Mrs. O'Malley taught them how to run like cheetahs. At last, it was time for lunch. Do you feel like a sloppy Joe? asked the lady behind the lunch counter. Here you are, said the lady. I hope your eyes aren't bigger than your stomach. Me too, said Amelia Bedelia. They would not fit in my head. Amelia Bedelia, said Rose after lunch. Do you want to jump rope with us? Amelia Bedelia smiled. Sure, she said. She put the rope on the ground and jumped over it. Amelia Bedelia was a terrific rope jumper. Rose giggled. So did Holly and Dawn and Joy. But before long, everyone on the playground was jumping rope the Amelia Bedelia way. There was time for one last project. Miss Edwards brought out big sheets of paper, glue, and scissors. This is free time, she said. Create something wonderful. Amelia Bedelia decided to make daisies for her mother. She got a piece of white paper for the petals, and a piece of yellow paper for the center, and another piece of white paper, and another piece of yellow paper, and another piece of white paper, and another piece of yellow paper. She was going back and forth, wasn't she? Amelia Bedelia, said Miss Edwards, don't be a ping pong ball. Please sit down. But, I need green for the stems. Enough is enough, said Miss Edwards. Please glue yourself to your seat. So Amelia Bedelia did. And since her daisies didn't have stems, she glued them to her headband until the school day ended. Goodbye, squirrels and ladybugs, said Miss Edwards. She was standing in the doorway, giving everyone a gold star. See you tomorrow. Soon, Amelia Bedelia was the only one left. Amelia Bedelia, said Miss Edwards, why are you still here? Because, said Amelia Bedelia, you told me to glue myself to my seat. So I did, said Miss Edwards. And so I did, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia stood up, and the chair stood up with her. Miss Edwards chuckled, and then laughed out loud. Oh, Amelia Bedelia, Miss Edwards said, I should have known better than to say that to you, especially on your first day. As Miss Edwards got Amelia Bedelia unstuck, she whispered, Want to know a secret? I'm a brand new teacher. Today is my first day of school, too. I'm a brand new teacher. We both deserve gold stars, said Amelia Bedelia. You'll have lots of fun tomorrow, said Miss Edwards. We are having an assembly. Hooray, said Amelia Bedelia. What are we going to build? Oh, Amelia. Memories, said Miss Edwards. Then she tapped Amelia Bedelia once on the very top of her head. Tag, said Miss Edwards. You are it until tomorrow. Amelia Bedelia smiled. She couldn't wait to come back to school. All right, so let's go back over what idioms are. So they're common phrases that mean something other than what they're actually saying. So we went over hop on the bus. It means to get on the bus. But going back to the story, what did Amelia Bedelia actually think it was? That's right. She thought it meant to actually hop onto the bus, like hop, hop. But that's not what it means, remember? It means get on the bus. So finally, let's go back and teacher's pet. So it means the teacher's favorite student. The student the teacher likes best. But did Amelia Bedelia think that in the story? No. She thought she was going to be the teacher's actual pet, like a pet hamster or a guinea pig. But that's not what she actually was. Clay was just saying that she could be the teacher's favorite. All right, so next, when they went to the library, Mr. Stack said, I want to see your noses in those books. So nose in a book means to read a book. But of course, what did Amelia Bedelia do? She put her nose in a book. That hurts. Ouch! All right. And then next, eyes bigger than your stomach. It means to take more food than you can eat. The lunch lady was worried that she gave her more food than Amelia Bedelia could actually eat. But of course, Amelia Bedelia thought she meant the size of her eyes were as big as her stomach. They'd fall out of her head if they were that big. Too big. And then finally, at the end of the story, so Miss Edwards told her, glue yourself to your chair. She meant sit down and don't move. She was like a ping pong ball, getting up and back and forth, trying to get those sheets of paper. But did Amelia Bedelia understand that Miss Edwards only wanted her to sit down and not move? She actually glued herself to her chair, and Miss Edwards had to help her out. All right, so those are the idioms. So from the top, hop on the bus means just to get on the bus. Teacher's pet, the student the teacher likes best, or the favorite student. Nose in a book, read a book. Eyes bigger than your stomach, take more food than you can eat. Glue yourself to your chair, sit down and don't move. So to finish, what's an idiom? It's a common phrase that means something other than what it actually says. Alright, so I hope you learned a lot, and keep in mind these idioms throughout your day and see if you can use them when you're talking to your friends. That's it for today. I hope you had a great day and a great time, and I'll see you next time. Bye.